Hello everyone, and happy April 1st. Today, as you know, is commonly known as April Fool's Day, or All Fool's Day to some, and is the one day a year that people can tell lies and do very unkind things and get away with it, all in the name of humor. Maybe you've never wondered how this silly tradition started, but I have, and this past month I decided to do some research and get to the bottom of where April Fool's Day comes from. And this is what I found. Nothing. I mean, there are a few theories, but nobody knows for sure why or where these traditions started. Yet it still gets observed every single year. But like I said, there are some theories. According to Wikipedia, April Fool's traditions could have come from the ancient Roman festival known as Hilaria that was celebrated at the end of March each year. Another common theory is that in 1582, when the switch was made from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar, the new year jumped from somewhere around April 1st to January 1st. Some people, however, refused to accept this and continued to celebrate the new year at the beginning of April. The January people then felt the need to make fun of and play jokes on the people who continued to celebrate the new year at the beginning of April. And as time went on, it became tradition. But I don't know, people refusing to accept change, I don't really buy it. There's a third theory, and this one's my favorite. According to historian Joseph Boskin from Boston University, during the reign of Constantine, a group of the emperor's jesters told him one day that they could do a better job of running the kingdom. "Well," said Constantine, "I'd like to see you try." So Cugel, the lead jester, became ruler of the Roman Empire for one day, and that day happened to be April 1st. Cugel passed a new edict that declared April 1st to be a day of complete absurdity, and the tradition has continued until today. Now, we can be pretty sure that this jester theory is not true, because Boskin made the whole thing up. April Fools. Sorry, I really wanted that one to be true too. So we don't know for sure where April Fool's traditions originated, but we do know that the traditions continue to be practiced all over the world with slight variations in different countries. For example, a tradition known as Poisson d'Avril that originated in France involves trying to stick a picture of a fish onto your friend's back without him catching on. In North America, April Fool's Day traditions include getting people to believe things that aren't true, pranking people, and sending people on false errands to look for things that don't exist. Some classic pranks include printing out fake parking tickets, stuffing Oreos with toothpaste, and putting your coworker's stapler in Jell-O. But don't do any of that. I mean, that's just mean. Except maybe for the stapler in Jell-O. Actually, you can't go wrong with that, because even though the victim has to go through Jell-O to get to the stapler, hey, you've got free Jell-O. Be happy. But apart from these small pranks, for decades now, people have been believing false stories published by news organizations and other companies each April 1st. Here are a few examples. In 1976, astronomer Patrick Moore was on BBC Radio for an interview. In the interview, Moore claimed that due to a once-in-a-lifetime gravitational phenomenon involving Pluto passing directly behind Jupiter, a person would be able to jump a little bit higher if they jumped right at 9:47 a.m. Hundreds of people later phoned BBC claiming to have felt the sensation. One woman even reported that she and her 11 friends had risen from their chairs and floated around the room. In 2008, BBC released a video that claimed that a new colony of penguins had been found. These penguins, unlike any others, were capable of flying. And as recently as last year, Google came out with a video that introduced their latest invention, the driverless bicycle. So April Fool's Day is just a marketing thing, and nobody believes the stories anymore, right? The day is just funny and harmless, right? Wrong. In 2002, radio DJs Johnny Dare and Murphy Wells told listeners that the water in a nearby town had been found to have high levels of dihydrogen monoxide in the water. Many concerned citizens called the police, and one city official actually thought it was a terrorist attack. The radio station issued an apology after the city manager said the joke jeopardized public safety. In 2014, a woman named Angela Timmons texted her daughter as a prank saying that she heard gunshots at the college where she worked. The police ended up getting called, and Timmons was arrested for aggravated breach of peace and disturbing a school. And just last year, James Thomas of Texas hired a magician to pretend to be a dealer in a game of poker at a local bar. He then had the magician deal him a slightly better hand than any of his buddies' hands each round. His friends caught on, however. A fight broke out, and the hired magician ended up getting a concussion and eventually sued Mr. Thomas for putting him in a dangerous situation. Okay, so I may have made that last one up, but the first two are true, and there are many more examples of people getting hurt, arrested, or even killed due to April Fool's pranks gone wrong. So if you're considering pranking someone today, don't. Please. And also, be careful when you read the news or see a video posted on Facebook, because without a doubt, today people are going to be publishing fake stories as April Fool's Day pranks. And I know you're probably thinking, but Ricky, where can I get my news today? And I understand. I know you need to be informed, so I got you covered. And for the last few minutes of this video, I'm going to do a news segment and give you all the news you need to know, and you can trust it to be 100% accurate. So without further ado, it's time for the news with Ricky. Good morning. It's April 1st, and I'm your host, Ricky Martin. For news this hour, we'll start with the weather. Today is partly cloudy with a mix of sun, and today's guaranteed high is -2 and the guaranteed low is +8. It's shaping up to be a great day for the 53rd annual Elmira Maple Syrup Festival. And then there's going to be some more weather the rest of the week. Moving on to sports. Our top story in sports. Usain Bolt will be making a return to the Olympics. Despite many rumors that Rio 2016 would be the Jamaican's last appearance in the Olympics, Bolt announced on Friday that he will be returning to the Olympics. However, he won't be returning as a sprinter. Bolt will be joining the Jamaican bobsled team and trying out for the 2018 Winter Games in South Korea. When asked why the switch from sprinting to bobsled, Bolt said that he recently watched Cool Runnings and found the movie very inspiring. Also in sports, the Toronto Blue Jays are being sued by the company Rogers for plagiarism because of the use of Rogers in their stadium's name. If Rogers wins the lawsuit, Blue Jays players could see their salaries being cut by as much as 0.002%. Blue Jays manager John Gibbons had this to say, "I hope we can put this whole thing behind us before the season gets underway. It's tough. You know it's probably going to affect the players. This whole thing came as a big shock to us. Most of us were still calling it the Sky Dome." In politics, Donald Trump became the first sitting president yesterday to get a hole-in-one. The feat, however, wasn't quite what you might have expected. Trump's tee shot on the 16th had such a bad slice that it went into the 17th hole. When people suggested that this couldn't count as a hole-in-one, Trump took to Twitter to respond. "Rocky Point Golf Course needs better signage. Clearly a hole-in-one. Everyone says so sad." Moving on, the government of Ontario has announced that they will be lowering the cost of frozen fish in Ontario by as much as 17% this summer. However, the cost of frozen fish will go up in the future, and Ontarians will end up paying more for frozen fish in the long run. Premier Kathleen Wynne had this to say about it. "Over time it will cost more, that's true, and it will take longer to pay off, that's also true. But it is fairer because it doesn't ask this generation of fish buyers alone to pay for everyone before and after." And then she added, "This way, everyone wins." Yeah, sorry, that was bad. I'll see myself out. Wait, I got one more story. Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls has officially announced that they will be rerouting the Niagara River and drying up the falls for a couple of weeks this summer so they can do some renovations on the Journey Behind the Falls experience. Spokesperson Ryan Powell says that tourists were criticizing the attraction for being too boring, calling it just a wet tunnel. When asked how they're going to improve it, Powell said, "We're not sure yet, but we're thinking about adding a second tunnel that would go to more locations behind the falls." Sounds way more exciting to me. But yeah, if you're planning on visiting the falls between July 12th and 25th this summer, you might want to reschedule. Well, unfortunately, that's all the news we have time for right now. But thank you for choosing us to get your 100% accurate news from today. I'm Ricky Martin, signing off. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Comment below with more 100% accurate news stories that people need to hear today. Also, click right here to watch last month's video, click right here to watch the Ghost Pepper Challenge, and click right here to subscribe. Right up there. What? How did that get there? Oh, see you next month.